If you've ever been stressed or overwhelmed about what to eat in order to reach your weight loss goals, then you're going to absolutely love this video. In today's video, I dive deep with the coaching call that I had with some of my clients, and I'll walk through a process that helps them gain a fundamental understanding of what to eat, why it's important, why it's necessary, and it cuts through all of the noise that we find in today's health and fitness industry. So it's not about a fad diet, it's not about a specific diet program, it's just simple principles to help you reach your weight loss goal here in 2024. So sit back, relax, grab a pen and paper, get ready to take some notes because you are going to find some incredible information in this video. Thanks again for watching. If you find something of value, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and let's dive into the content. Okay, cool. So guys, tonight we're talking about nutrition because as you guys probably know, 80% of the results that we get in the gym comes down to our nutrition. Now, whether that is building muscle, burning fat, whatever it is, it comes down to nutrition. And we're going to talk about the fundamentals of nutrition because the fitness industry and the health industry has completely blown this up and made it more than what it is. And it leaves a lot of people like paralyzed. You know, people are like, well, do I eat vegetables? Do I eat fruits? Like, do I do the carnivore thing? Do I do the keto thing? Should I become, a vegetarian? Like all of this different stuff. And so I kind of want to like, as your coach, like kind of sift through the noise and give you the real information that you need. And so that's kind of what we're going to do today. So I want to keep it short, simple, and brief and not overwhelm you with information. And then I'll try to like save this and try to edit it up a little bit and then repost it so y'all can always go back and watch. But I'm going to give you exactly what you need to know right out of the gate. So what I'm going to share with y'all tonight is something that we call the new food pyramid. Now, you guys remember the food pyramid from like, when we're really young, we learned about it. And I mean, honestly, I can't even remember like how it's laid out. Like I think grains were like at the very bottom and, fish and meat are on there somewhere and dairy and cheese. And then at the very top was like sweets and chips or something. Like, is that kind of, do y'all remember like what that looked like? I can't remember. So anyways, I'm going to share with you a new food pyramid that I kind of want you to wrap your mind around as we move forward with this nutrition thing and to kind of create a game plan based off of. So hopefully y'all can see my beautiful pyramid I've got here. Everybody see that okay? And we're going to divide this pyramid into 5 different sections. So when you look at the pyramid, the bottom part is the most foundational piece. This is the most important. This would be least important. Now, everything's a part of the pyramid. It's all going to be important that we're going to list out here. But just know, down here, this is like your foundation. This is like bedrock. And then up here, this is like, this is like the cherry on top. You know what I mean? So let's dive into this. So the very foundational thing when it comes to you reaching your goals comes down to calories. The amount of calories that you consume is the most important thing. I don't know about you guys, but there's been times in my health and fitness journey where like when I didn't really know all of this stuff and, I went out and I bought like all of this healthy food and I'm like buying organic and I'm getting like the grass-fed butter and I'm getting like a bunch of avocados and all this healthy stuff, right? And I come home and I start sticking to it and I'm cooking and I'm whipping up meals and yeah, I feel better, but I don't really see the changes in my body. You know what I mean? I'm buying the organic cereal, the organic crackers, all that stuff, because I'm like, the key is to eat healthy, right? I mean, that's kind of the important piece is you eat healthy and that's going to help you lose weight. But I did not see anything change, really. Like I said, I felt better, but I wasn't really losing weight. And the thing is because although I was still eating healthy, I was still eating too many calories. And so, guys, what I want you guys to do is tonight we're going to define exactly how many calories we need to be consuming every single day in order to reach our weight loss goal. Now, Anthony's on the call, and I don't think my man Anthony needs to lose another pound. He might blow away. And so he actually is going to have something a little bit different that I'm going to give him later on. But this information is still critical for you, Anthony, so I want you to tune in. But if you guys have like pen and paper, notebook, your phone, something like that where you can write this stuff out, it's going to be important for you. So what you want to do to find out how many calories you need to eat every single day is you're going to take your current body weight and you're going to multiply it by 8, 9, or 10. If you have less than 20 pounds that you want to lose, then you want to multiply it by 10. If you have 20 to 40 pounds, you want to multiply it by 9. If you have over 40 pounds that you want to lose, then you need to multiply it by 8. Okay, and so we could go into different like formulas and different total daily energy expenditure calculators, all that kind of stuff. But the main thing you need to know is this right here. This is simple enough. This will get you started, that kind of thing. So you're going to take I'm going to do it off to the side here. So let's just say, I'm sitting at around 189 and I'm wanting to drop 10 pounds, right? So it's not a huge weight loss goal, but it's something that I want to do. So I'm just going to take this and multiply it by 10. So basically what it comes down to is this is how many calories I need to eat every single day in order to start seeing the number go down on the scale. Now, as the number starts to go down, I'll need to come back and redo this, right? So, it might be I lose 5 pounds, but I still have 5 more pounds I want to lose. So I'm going to go, 184, multiply that times 10. That's my new calories. And then I continue to cut away as I get closer to that body goal. So that's what I want you guys to do right now. Find out exactly how many calories you need to take. Now, Sisha, she is using the nutrition coaching app and it will do it for you. So you guys, that's another option for you too. Like if you download My Fitness Pal, My Macros Plus, the Avatar Nutrition app, any of these, like you just go to like the app store and you can find one. They're all pretty good. And they're going to use different calculators that basically give you a number around this. But this is a good place to start if you're not using any of that, just to know kind of where to start. That's where you're going to start. Now, guys, it doesn't matter how healthy you eat. It doesn't matter what kind of food groups you're cutting out, any of that stuff. Like what matters is, are you staying below your total daily energy, your energy expenditure? That's how you know you're going to start seeing the weight come down. That's fundamental when it comes to weight loss, is your calories. If you want to gain weight, right, it's the opposite. You want to be over this mark. So anyways, enough of that. Calories is foundational. The second piece to this.
Hey, Chase, is this for like a half pound a week?
No, good question. Good question, Simone. This is for about a pound a week.
Okay.
This is for about a pound a week. Give or take, right?
Okay.
What I'll share a quick little aside. What you'll find whenever you start this, you're going to go week 1, and Simone, you're my testimony to this. You're going to go week 1, you're in a caloric deficit, and you're like, Chase, I gained weight. What gives? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week, you're going to weigh in again, and you're like, okay, I'm back where I started. And then it's like, at that point, you're like, you know what? I don't know if this is worth it. And then the next week, it's like you lose half a pound. You're like, okay, you know what? This is garbage. Chase is... But then week 4 comes, if you stick with it past the week 3, you get to week 4, then you see 2.5 pounds drop, right? And so you average about a pound a week, but sometimes it's half a pound, sometimes it's your weight fluctuates a little bit. But when you stay consistent with it and you really get past that initial hump of adding all of this stuff in, this caloric deficit in, you'll find yourself getting that average of about a pound a week. And we can go into the process of fat loss, and in the program folder, there's actually something that goes into what the process actually is. As you start to, cut your calories back, your fat cells start to get that fat out of them, but they fill up with water. And that's where you start to see the weight gain. You're like, I'm eating less, I'm eating healthy, but I'm seeing the weight go up. That's water weight. And so you've got to
Uh-huh.
stick to the program, stick to the plan, because initially that water will go out and then you'll start to see the weight come off. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of that piece. So the second part to that, great question, Simone. The second piece is your macros, your macronutrients. And so we can go into, carbs, fats, all of that different kind of stuff. But the main thing I'm going to focus on is protein. There's diet fads out here right now that completely eliminate carbohydrates, right? It's the keto thing. I think it's the Atkins thing too, right? Where you just like completely cut out carbs. And then there's got to be something, right, where you're cutting fat out of your diet too. You know what I mean? There's like, I can't remember what that's called as well. But anyways, you don't want to eliminate either one of those because they're all important, and I'll explain that in here in just a second. But the main thing I want to focus on tonight is protein, because that's what's going to build that muscle. That's what's going to maintain that metabolic rate. That's what's going to keep you full and satisfied longer. It's the most satiating macronutrient. And so those are the reasons why you want to focus on protein. So once you have your calorie number, you need to know how much protein you need to take in. And so the simple thing that I use is you want to eat 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. So once again, I weigh 189, I want to weigh 179. I'm going to take 179, and that's how many grams of protein I need to eat every single day. Now that sounds like a lot, but really you're looking at, 2 or 3 meals where you've got, 4 to 6 ounces of, chicken, steak, ground beef, pork, whatever it is, fish, whatever your favorite foods are, 2 to 3 portions of that with like maybe a protein shake or a protein bar, and you're going to be getting pretty close to that. So there's ways that we can break it down, and we can go into that, in another call, but knowing this number is going to be critical, and you want to get as close as you can to this number pretty much every day. I would say, 6 to 7 days out of the week, you want to get pretty close to that. Once again, it's going to keep you full longer. You're going to have more energy. It's going to keep your metabolic rate high. It's going to maintain that muscle as you stay in this caloric deficit. So that's why protein is the most important. Now, carbohydrates, that's obviously going to give you short-term energy. It's going to give you fuel for your workout. And then your fats, you don't want to cut those out because that's what's going to help you maintain healthy hormones and stuff like that. And so, guys, we have like a nutrition guide that's in the program. So if I'm saying carbs, fats, proteins, and you're like, dude, I don't know what any of that is, there will be like lists of foods that are basically like carbohydrate dense or fat dense or protein dense. So you go, oh, okay, well, I know what that is. And I know that that's like technically a carb, right? A potato would be considered a carb. So anyways, that's that. Any questions on protein or macros or anything like that before we move on? Good so far? Cool. So the next piece to the pyramid is micronutrients. Okay, I'm going to abbreviate that. Your micronutrients. So that goes into your vitamins, your minerals, your omega-3s and O6s and all of that different kind of stuff, right? All of your micronutrients, that's like the next most important thing. Guys, once again, like we talk about the fundamental piece of the pyramid, I did a video on this. You can actually eat Skittles every single day and lose weight. As long as you're in a caloric deficit, you can eat a bag of Skittles every single day and you're going to lose weight. However, as you continue to eat the bag of Skittles every single day and you keep going down that route, eventually you're going to realize that you don't have the energy, you don't feel good, like it's just like you don't have the energy to function really. And so that's why the micronutrients become important as you continue on this path, specifically in a caloric deficit for 8, 10, 12 weeks, whatever we decide to do. Because as you start consuming less food, your body's going to get tired. Your body's going to be like, where's the food? Usually you filled me up with more stuff. I need more energy. And so that's why it's important that at this point, you start making sure, hey, I'm feeding my body with, vegetables, fruits, foods that are loaded with micronutrients, even taking something like a multivitamin or, your fish oil or something like that, where you're just kind of getting in that extra supplement, that can do a lot for you. So that's kind of the next piece, right? Fruits, vegetables, 4 to 6 servings a day, whatever that looks like, I don't always hit that mark. This is honestly the hardest one for me. And so sometimes I end up like, supplementing with multivitamin and all that kind of stuff. So y'all can kind of figure out what works best for you there. But I'm I don't think it's necessary to go into, well, how much vitamin A do I need, or how much vitamin K do I need, or all of that different kind of stuff. Like, I mean, if you're having a pretty balanced diet, then like you're going to be okay. I don't think a lot of people are as micronutrient deficient as they think whenever, they're eating a well-rounded diet. So that's kind of a short, quick one. Any questions on micronutrients before we move on? Pretty simple, right? So let's move on here. Guys, when we get to here, this is where we start looking at things like nutrient timing, inflammation, gut health, intermittent fasting, all this different kind of stuff. So I'm sure y'all have heard some of that different kind of stuff, right? A lot of people talk about gut health, inflammation, nutrient timing, things like intermittent fasting, all of these different things that people use. Almost, it's kind of become a little gimmicky. You know what I mean? They've got their like quick fix where they're going to try to get all of the inflammation out of your body, and that's going to help you lose weight. And I will tell you, here in modern society in the 21st century, we are all dealing with these problems 100%. Many of us, we probably have issues with inflammation, gut health, all of that different kind of stuff. What are some other things? Genetics, different stuff like that, environmental factors, all of these different things, they do play a role. But once again, when we attack this first, because this is what a lot of people do, they go, you know what, I think I'm just going to I'm going to go on a cleanse. I'm going to just do a gut health cleanse, which is fine for your health. And so if health is your primary goal, that might be something that you do. That might be a place where you start. But if weight loss is your primary goal, then you want to start here and work your way up. Then when you get to this place, this is when you can really start getting those percentage points shaved down. Like, okay, now I'm really starting to fine tune this weight loss thing in, Now I'm really going to start, locking in probiotics or taking my omegas or, making sure I'm consuming enough eggs or fish or something like that, because that's what's going to help with your inflammation. That's what's going to help with your gut health and stuff like that. However, we don't want to start here. This is not the problem when it comes to weight loss. Many people are like, the reason I can't lose weight is because like my body's inflamed. And your body probably is inflamed, but that's not why you can't lose weight. The reason you can't lose weight is because you won't stay in a caloric deficit. And so once again, here's the most important: working your way up. So questions on that? Have y'all ever had experience with that, or any thoughts on that? Like Eric and Carly are the only ones hanging out with me. Everybody else has got their video off. So I'm just looking at y'all like, y'all got anything for me? So, okay, cool. So let's go to the last piece of the pyramid. The last piece of the pyramid. I can't fit it all in here. Supplements. Supplements is at the very top. Do supplements have a place in the pyramid? Absolutely. Supplements can be beneficial. However, supplements, it's dude, I can't even remember what the number is. It's like $13 billion industry annually. I mean, these people are racking in money on supplements, fat burners, quick fixes, different, shots, all this different kind of stuff. And I'm not saying any of that stuff can't help. It's a part of the pyramid, but many people just want to take the supplement and expect the results. And it's like, no, you got so much other stuff you got to take care of before you can really focus on this. And so whenever we talk about supplements, like I said, it's a huge industry. You go online and start looking at different things. It's you can almost get overwhelmed at what do you really need? And so the only 3 supplements that I'm well, there's actually 4. 4 things that I would say or I take religiously. I just make sure I have is protein powder, because it can be a little bit tough, specifically when you're in a deficit, to make sure you get all your protein in. So something like protein powder, protein shakes, protein bars, I technically call that a supplement, even though it's kind of food. So that would be the big one. The next one would be a multivitamin. The next one would be a fish oil. Those are the big 3 that I recommend pretty much everyone in the world to take, whether you're trying to lose weight or just be healthy or whatever. Those things are really, really beneficial for you. The 4th one would be creatine, which is more for explosive power, muscle development, cognitive function, all those different kinds of things. It's not 100% necessary, although if you like want to gain the edge, it does help. So those are the 4 big supplements that I kind of recommend. So to kind of tie all of this together really quick, you got to start with your calories. You got to know how many calories you have to consume every single day. And then you have to stay in that for how long? A couple of days?
How long
What,
would you
30
recommend,
days?
Chase,
Say that
to
again,
just to
Sonali?
kind of how long would you recommend just to get started so you don't get burned out?
So that was kind of a trick question. So, I mean, really, you want to stay in it until you hit your goal. However, and we've had this conversation before, you don't want to be in a calorie deficit forever. That's why, I say, hey, for the first 90 days, let's make this sprint. Because after the
Uh-huh.
3-month, maybe 4-month mark of constantly, like really trying to lock in calories, staying in a deficit, your body's going to start getting tired. You're going to start getting, burned out on it. Like really,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better word, and then you're going to start to resent it. Then you're going to start feeling that rubber band stretch. Well, now you're on the hamster wheel where you're going back and starting to, overeat or overindulge, and it just kind of creates that cycle. And I have been there 100%. And so basically, I say 12 weeks, if you hopefully after 12 weeks you've lost 10 pounds and you can say, cool, I'm in a position where, I've made some great progress. Now I can maintain for 4, 6, 8 weeks, whatever I decide I want to do, and then go back into another fat loss phase. Now, there's
Mm-hmm.
some people, I don't want to overcomplicate this, y'all. There's some people who literally for a year, they can be in a deficit and they can just be going because, they've just got a little bit of extra weight to burn. They've got a little extra energy and they can make that happen. Blake, who's up there at the gym, if y'all go and check out his story, he lost like, I think 150 pounds or something. Like whenever he started losing, he didn't stop. Like he just kept going and kept going. And so there's some people who they can do that, with the extra energy. But if you're trying to get down to like sub 15, sub 20 for women, which is very lean, it's going to start getting hard. It's going to start getting difficult. And I don't think that's really any of you guys' goals, like, at least not at this point, right? Yeah, right. So
Right.
that's kind of that. So, anyways, you've got your calories locked in. Then you've got your protein, your macros, right? How much protein? Like trying to quiz y'all.
Your goal body weight.
Yes, 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. So I want to weigh 179, so I need to make sure I eat 179 grams of protein every day. Now, it can get a little bit more complex, but we're not even going to talk about that. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. So that's that, right? After you have your protein figured out, if you're really starting to like track your calories or really document it with a food journal or whatever it may be, let your carbs and your fats fill in the gaps because everyone's different. Some people lean more towards fat, some people lean more towards carbs. So it really comes down to personal preference. So, for me, I'm a pretty balanced person. Now, Shelby, when she was at the gym, she would eat almost no fat and a lot of carbs. And so you got to find what you like, what you enjoy, and what you're going to be able to stick to. Because here's the thing, like, once again, eating healthy and all that kind of stuff, that's great. But the benefit of the first 2 things is like your options are unlimited. Like, I mean, you can have a whole grain bagel if you want. You can have, a whole grain pasta. You can have, I don't know, whatever it may be, ice cream. Like you can fit these things in so long as you remain under this. Like there's no, like, I don't like to do the restrictive thing. Now I'm going to give a caveat to that here in just a second. So you've got your calories, you've got your protein. Micronutrients, the best way to tell you this is to make sure every day you're consuming some fruits, some vegetables, some, high quality, whole foods, right? Whole nutritious foods. We all know what those are. We don't have to go in depth there. Once you've got these three locked in, which can happen pretty quick, then you can start tackling things like inflammation and gut health. And, there's some food ways to do that. There's some supplement ways to do that. You got to find what works for you. And we can cover that another time because it can start to make things a little bit more complex than they have to be right now. And then lastly, supplements. Can you start incorporating all of these things today? Yeah. Yeah, if you wanted to go ahead and order supplements and start taking them today, like I think you totally should. Just don't expect to get the biggest bang for your buck purely off supplements without taking care of this stuff too. This is supplemental. This is like the last like 5 to 10%. This is like percentage points. So okay, so enough of all of this. Questions, anybody?
Can eating a lot of carbs be a little bit deceiving? Because at least in my experience, loading up on the carbs makes me feel like bloated and retain water.
Yeah, I think that's going to come down to, your personal bio individuality. Some people may be
Uh-huh.
able to, consume a lot and they're fine. And
Mm-hmm.
some people may, due to whatever the restrictions are, and sometimes it does come back to gut health and inflammation. That's going to come down to like a little bit of like self-experimentation and stuff like that. But, you know, I would just say like you got to kind of be in tune with your body, and that's why we really went deep on that in November with that whole like mindful eating thing. Is just being aware of how you're feeling after you eat, before you eat, all of these different things, and then acting upon that information that you got, that feedback that you got. So like if you eat something, you're eating too many carbs and you're feeling bloated, then obviously like that's a sign for your body to like pull back, slow down, choose a different
Mm-hmm.
carb source, something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, what else? What else? That's a good
I
question.
know for me, my issue is I'm a stress eater.
Yeah.
Like, because what we do in our field and stuff, it
Yes.
is not gonna be so much as eating all those calories, but I'm going to drink all those calories.
Yes. And so
So
what is your drink of choice that's like high in calories?
alcohol.
Oh, alcohol. And
Alcohol.
here is the big, this may be the game changer for you right here, Carlia.
Mm,
The way the liver functions is, and I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist, so this is just like from stuff that I've seen and research I've done and personal experience, is the liver has a very difficult time processing alcohol and fat at the
mhm,
same time. So your liver's going to
mm,
have one job. It can burn the fat, or it can basically get the alcohol process out of your system. And so if you have a drink or two, it could be 24 to 48 hours for your liver to get it all out
ooh,
of your system before you can return to fat burning potential.
gotcha.
So that sometimes can be a big hindrance
A big
for,
game changer, right?
yes. And so, my personal thing would be, have you a night or an evening where you're going to
Hmm.
not binge or anything, but have you a drink where you can relax and stuff like that. And, find other ways to like kind of cope and wind down, which is like that's the challenging part.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
It's something that we'll have to lean on each other. She says it all the time. We do the same job, just different states.
Yeah,
So she's gonna have to hold me accountable on my really stressful days. I'm gonna have to hold her accountable on her really stressful day. We can do it. It's just the discipline part is the part that we have to work on.
yeah. And so here's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. And this goes for drinking, smoking cigarettes, cutting out donuts, whatever it is, like whatever, like because I have my thing too. Like mine's like chocolate chip cookies. I'm like, I want a chocolate chip cookie every day, and it's like the first few days are super tough, and then after day 21 you're good. Like after that, you get so much more control, but you have to make it to that 21-day mark. And so, I don't know for you guys if that means like cutting it all out for 21 days or hey, we're going to have one drink one time a week, whatever that is, and understand like it's a process too. So, but that will 100% be a game changer for you right there, knowing that information. Yeah. What else, you guys? That's really good stuff too.
Mine is chocolate, so I would suggest and recommend not having anything that you crave at home. If you don't have it at home and you have to go somewhere else to get it, it makes it harder for you to, binge eat.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just don't buy any bottles of alcohol and replace it with sparkling water, something else that you can drink.
And there was this one time where this is so sad. I can't even believe I'm about to say this on camera. Yeah, I was like, we had no chocolate chip cookies. I was like, I'm going to the store and get me some cookies. Like, I don't care. So, man, y'all are judging me hard. So, okay, that's awesome. Good stuff. Good questions, y'all. Really good. What else? Anything else on any of this kind of stuff? Do y'all feel like y'all have some things that like y'all can walk away from the call and like start implementing?
Yes.
Start putting to use. Now, what about the nutrition app or anything like that? Do you like Carly or Eric? Do y'all think that's something that y'all would kind of incorporate?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been looking at the Chase Inspires link that you sent us.
Yeah.
I've been looking at that religiously, trying to figure out how I'm planning to use it. And for the past day and a half, about day and a half, it's a lot of good stuff on there that I think I can work with.
Okay, bet. So, and then what I will say is, like if you go into the App Store and download like, something like MyFitnessPal or something like that, like a free one, just to where you can start like, here, I got my phone right here and we're going to run out of time here in a second. So I'm going to try to get through this really quick and we'll wrap up. But so this is the one that I use. I don't know if y'all can even see this, but yeah. So basically this shows me like I just put in everything that I've eaten today, right? And it tells me up at the top, am I within my ranges, right? So today I had a little bit more fat than I should have because I'm fixing to go have a steak, a little high in fat, but I'm doing good on my protein, right? I'm pretty close to hitting my protein goal. It says I've still got about 200 calories left. So if I wanted to squeeze in a chocolate chip cookie tonight, I could probably get away with it. Y'all gonna think I have issues. So, but that's the power of having something like this. And, what I've noticed is anybody who has tracked consistently and hit their parameters consistently has gotten closer to their goal. And so that can be something that's a really, really, really good tool. But once again, it kind of comes down to the individual. I probably will use this for the first 6 months of the year. And then the last 6 months of the year, I go very like intuitive, like, I know about what, 6 ounces of steak looks like or 6 ounces of chicken. I can start relying on my knowledge and intuition rather than meticulously feeling like I'm tracking something. So you would do the same thing, right? Hey, for 12 weeks, I'm going to try to hit, a 10-pound goal loss or, 10 pounds down or whatever it is. And then after that, I'm going to quit using the app for a little while to just like kind of get a break and use the knowledge that you gained from using the app to continue to make informed choices and stuff like that. So that can be the power of using something like that.
Chase, what was the name of that app again?
So this is the one, it's Avatar. I just started using this again. We did it last year for like coaching clients and stuff like that. And then we stopped using it because we went through a change at the gym. And so I just picked it back up. And Sisha's using it, Michaela's using it, and that is the one where it's like $20 extra. I think it's actually $15 for you guys at part of the program, to where like basically what it allows me to do is every time you put something in there, I can go in there manually and be like, hey, Eric, like I saw your breakfast this morning, dude, you crushed it. Like way to get, so much protein in. Or, hey, Carly, I saw like, you had this for lunch. A better option might be this. Like I can provide I don't really do that, but I can provide feedback. Or you could be like, hey, Chase, can you look at my nutrition today and like let me know how I'm doing? But where it really comes into like where it's really beneficial is at the end of the week, the weekly check-in is done on there. And then I can like hit you up on the app. Like, dude, you were in Target for all of your stuff. Like your food choices looked awesome. Like keep it up. Like it's just a good like platform like that. But you don't have to use that. Like you can use, dude, there's hundreds of them out there. So you can find one that works for you. MyFitnessPal is like the industry standard. Like everybody has used that at some point. So sweet, cool. Anything else before we kind of wrap up this evening? Is Anthony still with us?
Yep, he is.
Are you getting some value from this too, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of a different goal, so I'll touch base with you and kind of connect on a game plan for you as well. But once again, all of this stuff will still apply just in a different way for you. So cool, guys. Well, as we wrap this thing up, if y'all have any other questions, even that's not related to nutrition, fire away. We've got like, I think 3 or 4 minutes left. So cool. Well,
Quick
hey, thank
question,
you so much
please.
for being on here. It means a lot that y'all would, spend your evening hanging out with me, yapping about chocolate chip cookies and stuff. So y'all have a good evening. And what was that? All right. Well, y'all have a good evening. I'm going to go in here and
Simone
enjoy.
had something to say.
Who did?
Me?
I think,
Oh,
I think Simone.
Simone, did you have something?
oh, it was, yeah, but I know we're towards the end. I will ask that. I will ask you that later. It was just about protein intake.
Okay. Anything important?
I was just wondering if, like, for protein, if it matters some days. There are some apps that calculate your calories, giving you a little higher allowance on the weekends and making you eat less during the week. I was just wondering if with protein, it's sort of the same process. Like, if there are days when you eat less protein, you can compensate on the next day eating a little more, because sometimes it's just hard to reach your protein goal. I was just curious.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, technically, yes. The way your body like kind of stores that in your like I forget where it's actually stored. But anyways, like if you eat like consume extra protein, your body actually does like store it. I think it's in the intestines or something to basically be used later. But the only thing with that is it's kind of like the idea of like spending your paycheck before you get it, and it's like you feel like you're playing catch up and sometimes you miss the mark. And so the strategy that I prefer to do, you find what works best for you, Simone, is just making sure I hit it every single day or get close to it. Like if you're in or out like 5 to 10 grams, like that's totally fine.
Mhm.
But you just want to be getting close to that number. I mean, so these are just like kind of averages, anyways.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's just kind of the strategy I like to take. So
Awesome. Thank you.
cool. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap this up. Y'all have an awesome evening. And I guess I'll see some of y'all on Thursday for another awesome workout. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you got something of value, if you found something useful for you, then you're absolutely going to love my brand new free webinar that I'm giving out to anybody who's interested. All you've got to do is click the link in the description found right here below, and you're going to be able to go and watch this hour-long webinar that is jam-packed with information specifically geared to help you reach your weight loss goals in 2024. So don't wait, don't hesitate, click that link below, and I hope to see you on the webinar. Thanks for watching.